Hi everybody, welcome to the Leaf Heart Path. My name is Andrea Graham. I am an intuitive healer, psychic, and Reiki practitioner. If you're interested in any of these services or to book a personal tarot reading, check out the description box below the video. Let's talk about today's reading. I pulled Instagram users last week about our next pick a card reading, and this topic was the most popular. This week we're focusing on growing our relationships with others across home, family, friendship, love, and within work or hobbies. And so our questions we're focusing on today are: how can I best strengthen my connection to others? How can I better express appreciation for them? So this week we have got 4 piles for you to choose from, and each card has a crystal for those who like to pick piles that way. So pile 1, our Ace of Wands, it's got Apatite. Pile 2, we have a Rose Quartz Bear. What a cute little bear. Pile 3, Garnet. And pile 4, Lapis. So take a moment, center yourself, take a deep breath, and select the pile or crystal you are the most drawn to. Timestamps and chapters are listed below. I'll see you in your video. Hi, pile 1. If you picked the Apatite, then this is your reading. We're going to do this reading a little bit differently this week. We're looking at cultivating our appreciation for people in our family, friends, love life, and work or hobbies. Each group or realm mentioned will get 3 cards. The first card will represent you and your relationship to others and your life within that category. So basically, how do other people see you? How are you holding yourself? How are you operating? It may show you things you know already, or it may reveal some things that you didn't realize about yourself. Then the second card for each pile will be specific actions that you can take to strengthen your connection to these particular people and how to express appreciation for them to grow your relationships. And then finally, our last cards are going to be the general outcome once you've implemented the actions revealed. We're also going to be looking at the backs of the decks for any more insight or clarification. So group 1, let's get into your reading. I'd like to start with family over here. And the cards that represent your relationship with your family are the 2 of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, and the 3 of Wands. Now, this group could probably resonate with any zodiac sign, as we have all the groups represented on the Wheel of Fortune. But I also see those symbols could be meaning about a family that's totally inclusive, which can mean not just immediate family, but also family that's farther apart, perhaps. There may be some space between you. And that's indicated by the clouds in the air, which I'm seeing in this instance is travel. So let's begin before we hop into that too much further with our 2 of Cups. This is from the Modern Witch Tarot. So when I see this in this particular context, I see this as you possibly being the peacemaker in your family, or they view you as somebody who has emotional depth. I don't believe this is just a role that you're playing with your family, although it could be a role that some of you were forced into possibly, or you kind of assimilated as a young child. But again, this is a general reading, so that's only going to be for some of you. So regardless of whether you see yourself as that diplomat or a peacemaker, you do have a deep emotional life that I think your family recognizes. You are in all likelihood an empath, and I see this as you on this side of the card, and this is your family member over here, kind of a representative of everybody. Their feet are in the tide here, and water in tarot has to do with emotions. They're the one extending the cup to the person that's on land, and So again, this is you extending that cup, and then your other family members here on the land, which is earth, pentacles, and very slow moving, very stable. So you may be a bit of a disruptor in your family because everybody's over here. You're more water, and we can kind of think of that as a little more free flowing, just like emotions are free flowing or can be free flowing. And here the caduceus is showing us a trade or an exchange. So we can see that hand coming out here, like your family is recognizing you for what you do and who you are. The lion's head here can indicate fire or passion. So you might have more of a fiery side in comparison to members of your family. Or if you don't feel that that's the case, they may still view you through that lens, group 1. Yeah, there's an understanding and acceptance from others here within your family that you're offering something beyond the value of you just being you. They admire this empathic quality that they may or may not be tapped into themselves. Feet are not in the water there. And if they are, I think you might just be a little more balanced with it, or you've stepped into it a little bit more, you have a little more experience, whereas they may not in their own emotional life. It's there, but maybe they just haven't worked with it as much as you have. And that brings us to then specific actions that can be taken to strengthen your connection to your family and express appreciation for them, and then that appreciation will grow. And so that's going to bring us to the Wheel of Fortune. And so this is Major Arcana. It's very all-encompassing, as we have all different signs represented in astrology. So we've got our air and our water and our earth and fire. But it also can indicate here, to me, there's just this expansive quality here that you may have a large family. You may have a lot of people that you call your family, even if you're not related by blood, or that number may be increasing down the road. And again, this doesn't have to indicate biology at all. This can be friendships that are family or family, adoptions, or people whose hearts that you've touched. This definitely doesn't have to be just about bloods and biology here, okay? I do feel that things are unfolding here with this card and the Two of Cups together as, and your role of being an empath, like, because this is Major Arcana, I do feel this is part of your life path, I think. Group 1. Yeah. This part you play as an empath or just an emotional person is part of your life path. When you get the Wheel of Fortune in a reading, for me, I often think of fate or destiny. If you believe that you choose a life path before you incarnate here, this role might be preordained for you. It might be something you chose as a way to explore your emotional depths, your emotional sides, before incarnating with your family. And this is a role that you are likely to continue to explore throughout your entire life, I'm guessing. Around and around we go. So here we've got two people on the wheel, right? Two characters here. And I think that this is you right now, kind of on top of the wheel in comparison to maybe other members of your family here. It just depends on where you are right now in your life and what's going on, of course. Sometimes you're feeling really good, you're on top of the world, and then other times you kind of feel like the wheel of fate is rolling over you, and they're sort of looking up to you for help here. And I think part of strengthening your connection to your family unit may be taking a bigger picture view of any struggles or issues that are arising with communication. So recognizing the ebb and flow of cycles that life follows. Because, I don't know, think about nature. Relationships also go through their own stages, right? Some fall away, fall off the wheel. Others are going to stagnate, go to seeds, and then they bloom once more. And I think taking a bird's eye view of trickier family situations and dynamics will offer you some freedom. Like, notice here, she's gazing off in that direction up into the sky, that freedom. It's going to give you an ability to relax and not take family drama or family issues too personally. Yeah. So I think what you're doing here is creating a little bit of space around the situation. Notice, we have the air around that disc in the middle. It's a little bit of a boundary, which is going to be healthier for you, your family members, and it will allow you to have breathing room that you need as an empathic person. In turn, this is also going to help you be more present and loving when something does involve you or someone asks for advice that you're willing to give, or more importantly, like when you're a listening ear for somebody. That's really what people are looking for. It's just an expression most of the time, not always advice. And also, this is a little different. I'm seeing this as almost an inherited object. The wheel itself looks like, oh, this is grandma's platter that I got, and somebody else wants it. So this is something that you might receive from an estate, an inheritance. If there's been a family squabble about where objects are going, this is a reminder not to get too sucked into any drama that may result from this. When there's a death, sometimes families can get mired in grief. People might get a little greedy sometimes because they're clinging on to that person that they loved. And sometimes they're just greedy. They aren't always acting, though, with the clarity that this card is showing us with this blue sky here. Sorry if you hear my dog barking downstairs. He's saying hello. Little shout out to you. If you find yourself enmeshed in some kind of situation like this, this might be a reminder just to be the bigger person. Just let stuff fly. All right, just let it go. Walk away if you need to for a while. Stand up for yourself. But if other people are trying to drag you into some kind of like strange situationship with inheritance, you can just say no, thank you. And again, I'm being drawn back to that idea of a bigger picture. I think you recognize that sometimes people aren't feeling well, like this person here at the bottom of the wheel. You may be able to offer them some solace, some grace, which will only serve to enhance your connection. And through your actions, this is expressing appreciation, group one. And they recognize that. So, be prepared, bring all your cups, and be yourself is what this card is really speaking to me in terms of actions that you can take. And finally, group one, we have down here the Three of Wands. Okay, and this is your outcome for strengthening your connection to your family and expressing appreciation for them. So to me, again, this speaks to a bigger picture view. The Three of Wands is about expansion. It's about growth. Notice the figure here is kind of gazing off into the distance, looking toward the future. And so as you're able to navigate your family relationships with and from that heart-centered space, the openness that a Two of Cups person would have, you are continuing to grow and create positive change for yourself and members of your family. Good for you. Good job. Yeah. And so I'm being drawn here. They're holding a single wand, and it's like they've just walked through this archway or this doorway, this gate, that's made up of two other wands to get our three. But they're not concerned about these being unstable or any instability there. They're not worried about the foundation falling down. They're just concerned with, what's going on in front of them, the future. So there's confidence here. These are rooted, they're firm. It's the beginnings of that foundation. So this may also indicate you continuing to grow your idea of family and including new members in that family. That whole thing just shaping it, getting shaped and changed. Your whole schema is changing with the idea of family. It feels very, very positive, group one, too. I like this feeling. This may also indicate a growing relationship with distant relatives that perhaps you were strengthening here. And so you might have some travel on the horizon. Look, we've got little boats. This is interesting, too, to me, because we've got the water down here. Again, emotions, and then we've got two boats, and we've got the two cups there. So we've got that duality. You may have more opportunities to go visit people who are spread out. This to me feels, again, very balanced with that duality, the two. We've got the water. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. I think of it as the air, even though it's really everything. And we've got fire right here. Yeah, there's a rootedness, but also an expansive quality here. And it shows me you really embracing who you are. And with any changes that you've made, you showing up, you being you, there's an acceptance of you not only by family members, but also for yourself, if there are any changes that you've wanted to make. You may not always have been accepting of yourself or seeing your own worth. In the back of the deck, we have Taurus energy with the Hierophant here, which I love this card so much better than the Rider-Waite version. Okay, so again, another major arcana card, and this particular card has to do with tradition and rules, and in terms of family, a particular structure. I'm being drawn to the columns on either side of her. Conformity, playing roles. Yeah, so with this fixed quality, this reinforces the idea to me that you are meant to stand out a little bit in your family unit, in your family structure. Be a little bit of a disruptor, a little bit different from the rest of your family. But by being this different person, you create a new vision and an expansiveness for your family that wasn't there before. It's funny, everything's like a domino effect. It's a ripple effect. This will not only create more unity within your family structure, it adds a sense of flexibility here. There's no flexibility here. And a sense of steadiness and strength, both in yourself and in the quality of your relationships with the family unit overall. Okay, so that wraps up the family portion of it. So that was quite a bit. Group 2, let's move on to your relationships with your friends. This is the Arcana Tarot that we're looking at right here, the second column. The first card that we have here is the King of Wands. So again, this represents you and how the lens like your friends see you through, okay? Your relationship with them. I love the art on this. So this is pretty creative. It's fiery energy. This is about manifesting. Like you've been pretty darn busy. You might be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or have fire prominent in your charts. And even if you don't identify with those particular qualities, your friends may see you through that particular lens. Again, you may have just embarked on something new in your life, and they may see you right now as like, oh, this venture's a little bit exciting. My friend's a little bit exciting, and perhaps even a little unreachable. I'm thinking. I mean, that's a lot of fire down here. You have a passion and an enthusiasm for things, and that is really, really, really contagious, the way flames just can kind of pick up and burn up anything around it. So I do think you draw people into you, is what this card is telling us. Some of you may be a little overzealous at times, or get really, really excited about projects or tasks or ideas, particularly ones in the creative realm. If your friends have a question regarding something that you have a lot of knowledge about, they're definitely going to come to you, because we have this king energy here. They're going to see you as like at the top of your game. Yeah, quite knowledgeable. You may be a little awe-inspiring, but also, again, they're not going to feel like they don't want to feel like that they're bothering you, as you may have a tendency to get kind of laser focused on projects or things that you have in front of you. Like, I'm being drawn to the eyes here. There may be a hint of intimidation here, especially if these folks are just at the periphery of your friend group. I feel that those who are closer to you know your Two of Cups heart, that we saw in that family dynamic. So group 1, the card we have then to represent actions that you can take to strengthen your connection to your friends and express appreciation for them, is the King of Swords. Okay, so another reptile. But yeah, dragon, snake, I think that's right. So 2 kings in a row also, which is really, really interesting. And to me, that shows that you're a little guarded, the way the dragon is guarding the treasure here. And your friends And this I think is about your heart space though, is what you're guarding. Your friends may wish for you to kind of let that guard down a little bit, reveal who you really are, and let everybody know who's at the empathic center. Yeah, I'm again being drawn to that group in the periphery I talked about. So not your core folks, but the ones that aren't quite aware of that loving and giving center at the middle of your heart. So I still think right now they're seeing you as the fiery king back here. And not so much the even exchange and emotional Two of Cups card that we've been referring back to. It's almost like you've got this bit of armor on right here. Do you see the gold plating? Okay, and they have a hard time maybe seeing past that right there. And so it may not be a bad thing if you're somebody who is a little armored up to let your guard down with your entire friend group. Be a little more squishy, be a little more tender. The element of swords are air, which is the signs of Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, which could be you, and it could be prominent in your charts, or it could be about specific friends that you have around you. Air is about everything that's mental, decision-making, thoughts, planning, the quality of decisions that you're making, your mental real estate. And another thought in that realm is to use that planning ability. I'm looking forward. And initiate making plans with your friends, particularly if you have this quality we spoke about here before, where you tend to get blinders on when you're dealing with certain projects and lose yourself a bit in what you're doing and what's in front of you. It is always great to be in the moment and live your life to the fullest within each moment, but don't forget about the balance, between what's in front of you and then like also those around you, right? So if you usually wait for others to initiate contact, this is probably a sign from the universe that you need to start reaching out a little bit more. And again, I am getting a bit of an intimidation factor a little bit here as well, which we did talk about before. Some people may not be reaching out to you again because they feel it might be a burden to you, or they might be afraid of disapproval, or perhaps that you aren't even interested. And I really don't think this is the case, because you do strike me as someone who is empathic and empathetic, highly sensitive, but you still have a lot of this fiery quality to you as well. And I think the message here is just about a balance that needs to happen and an awareness of what you're thinking. Yeah. So balancing emotional life and creative projects, and maybe, getting a little carried away or sucked into them with friendships. That's the balance I'm talking about. Making a little more space, sharing the treasure of your heart. And so I think what's going to happen here, group 1, we've got the Four of Pentacles. This is showing me that there may be new people coming in who want a membership to your club. They're offering you this pentacle here, like this little ratty has in their mouth. Like, here, I'm bringing you this token of my commitment and friendship. So traditionally, this is about being a little miserly sometimes, which we do have that guarded quality here. Miserly is a strong word, but that really is traditionally kind of what that's associated with. But I'm seeing this more as like a guarded thing. Guarding the wealth of your heart. But to me, this is more about new people coming in, and they're part of that equal exchange here. They want to be part of this club with you. This is an enrichment of what you already have with your good friends who are true gold. But also, you're going to meet some new ones. I really do think so. And if you are empathic, you may be somebody who does not do well with bigger crowds. You could get overwhelmed. You might be a little selective about your relationships as well. And that's totally fine, because this is like members only right here, I feel like. And if we look at the back of the deck here, with the Seven of Wands, look at that there. Okay. There is this bit of energy of you actually kind of having to beat people back with a stick. Like, they're coming at you this way and you're like, no, and trying to escape up in that direction. So I think when you make some of these changes, you're going to actually have a lot of people coming to you or flocking to you. You're heading up to where the light is. That's where I want to go. That's where I'm ascending up to. That's where your new friendships are, your good ones. That's where you're headed. You're going to be able to pick and choose who gets membership and where you don't want to spend your energy. So you're not going to be hanging out down here probably. And I think this is going to happen naturally just by you becoming a little bit more open, group 1. You will find you have more offers. This is also about you being a little more conscientious and perhaps instigating or reaching out to make plans with your friend group or people you haven't spoken to in a while. Remember, your energy may be a little intimidating to some folks or intense who don't know you very well. You can let your guard down and show your softer side. Yeah, they may not approach you first, but things are going to be very reciprocal, I think. And any gesture you make towards your friends is going to be met with open arms. They really do care about you because they see you as this king energy here, okay? You have a lot of abundance coming your way with your friends when we make those changes. So group 1, we're going to take a look next at your love life. Right here. And this is the Modern Mystic Tarot. So how can group 1 strengthen their connection to others? How can they better express appreciation for their partner or future partner? And so in this instance, you're currently being represented by the 4 of Swords. Okay. If you're involved with somebody currently, this can indicate a period of rest or a bit of a time out or a separation with your person. So you may be in separation right now. There may be a bit of a divide between the 2 of you regarding certain dynamics or situations. Maybe not seeing eye to eye on a few things. There may be some important discussions that need to take place that haven't happened yet. It could be that you 2 are very busy with your own hobbies, projects, or work. So it could be something as simple as that. Like you're just like 2 ships in the night that aren't meeting. You both may be juggling a lot for those of you that are in a relationship. Where you just don't have the time that you really would like to dedicate to one another because you've got other stuff that needs to happen. So this is a card about needing a little bit of a mental break, a rest. And if you're not with somebody currently, this card does reflect that accurately. It shows time out. You may have gone through a breakup recently, or you're going through a little spell, a dry spell between dates, or maybe you haven't put yourself out there right now, like you're putting yourself in time out. So actions you can take to strengthen your connection to your partner or future partner, or how to express appreciation for them, is expressed by the Major Arcana card of the Emperor. This one, the lighting is, the colors are so cool. So if you're in a relationship, guys, this is just tackling it and going for the discussion that needs to happen. This is probably about emotions that haven't been expressed, and so they need to be expressed. That would be your action. This would line up with that 4 of Swords kind of expressing a dormancy right here. This is going forward using your head, using your logic to address the elephant in the room or the decisions that need to be made, right? Conversations that need to happen. By you initiating this conversation, it shows investment and interest, which is expressing appreciation for your partner instead of, covering up how you feel. It might be a little scary, but literally I see this as, you see that's a bear skin that he's wearing there. That's a bear coming in to give you a hug. Like you're going to get a big bear hug when you're done. It may be a little tricky to navigate this, especially if it has been unspoken for a while, or it's kind of, the elephant in the room, the bear in the room, something that has gone unexpressed. Yeah. So there's this movement from kind of dormancy or receptive to being more expressive and emotive. More dominant. There's this balance that needs to be struck between the 2. Yeah. For folks who are not in a relationship right now, this is about taking those first steps and getting yourself out there. Yes. Activating dating profiles for websites if you're into that. Getting active within a club, a group, an organization, talking to friends, like, hey, do you know anyone? You probably are going to have nerves about it. You might be a little frightened, but use this big bear strength of your brain to get you through, especially if some of you have been waiting for a long time. Going back to that 4 of Swords energy there, it's almost like some of you have been resigned to not finding a partner. Yeah. And this is letting me know that you can, but nobody else is going to be able to take you off the shelf except for you. Okay? So finally, for your outcome, if you take those actions, kind of using your logic, you've got the World, another Major Arcana card. And like the Emperor, this lets me know that this block that's happening in your love life might be something that is part of your path right now. Something you were meant to experience, to explore, to go through, to grow. And by harnessing that inner Emperor, you can have the world. You can have everything that you want to have with a partner and create and evolve together making something new. On the back of the deck, we have here the Ace of Pentacles. Let's see if I can grab that. Here we are. This is an offering of stability. Yeah. A token of affection. So even if you're in a long-term partnership, group 1, you have been for some time, things can be new again. There can be new fruit and abundance from your actions, changes for the better. And those of you just activating those dating apps or putting yourself out there, this is you receiving the fruit, okay? You just need to have the courage to step out and be yourself, because there will be somebody there for you. And finally, group 1, we have to look at the relationships at work, or if you aren't working a typical job, think of this as the people you interact with within like hobbies, community, committees, volunteering, like social stratosphere, friends, anything that would be close-ish to career. So how can group 1 strengthen their connection to others within these realms? How can they better express appreciation for others in the work situation? We have got here the Page of Poles. This is from Labyrinth Tarot deck. So that has to do with the movie with David Bowie and Jennifer Connelly from the 80s. So these just, the art in here just cracks me up, and the guidebook is really great. The writing is wonderful. So we have a page here, right? And that's someone who is the youngest in the court. While this is fiery energy, creativity, and ambition, there is an element of newness here for you. It could be that people see you in work situations as somebody who is always open, enthusiastic, and kind of eager, ready to learn, like somebody who's newer would be. It could also mean that you are new to a job, or one of those other realms that we talked about within here that's related to that. You also have a bit of armor on here, group 1. Which takes me back to the friends viewing you here as that the King of Swords. So there may be a bit of a quality to you that's a little removed from others. And because we're talking about workspace, you may have an idea that maybe you don't want to take any particular relationship there further. Some people just don't like that. You might have boundaries up because you may not like to mix work with friendship. Or thinking about people from work and having that energy come into your space of, say, your home or your life in some way. It just may not be for you, especially if you are sensitive, a highly sensitive person. It may just not be your thing. And that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with the people who are around you. It just may not be your jam. Some of you may have to have armor on because of the nature of your particular job. You may not be in a position where you can immediately spend time with folks around you. You can always find ways to show that you care. You may be a boss, for example, and need to keep a firm line between friendship and work. All right. So what are the ways that group 1 can strengthen their connection to work comrades and express appreciation for them? I feel like this is kind of the heart of everything right here. This is so cute. This little Ace of Feathers is the Ace of Swords. Look at that little face. So sweet. So again, because this is newness, the Ace is kind of the 0 and everything. This is going back to the idea, this is possibly a new endeavor for you. Or you might be thinking about work relationships in a new light. New, yeah. You might be open to them, and before you weren't. So feathers in this deck, again, are equivalent to swords. And that's the suits of the mind, the action, the planning that we spoke about before. And with this feather kind of floating up in the air, bloop, 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 bloop. This can mean you again. I think like this is traveling out. It's initiating. I mean, it could be email, like floating off here into the, sharing stuff in the cloud. We did talk about this already with the King of Swords. This is you showing who you are and initiating plans with folks. And if you're not in a position to create those friendships, as we talked about, because certain boundaries aren't crossed in workplaces, depending on where you work and the culture and that kind of thing, this might be you sending an email out and just letting people know that you appreciate them. Yeah, so it's not even just the mental aspect here. It's more about the initiation, like this crossing this little threshold, taking that first little step. Because intention is one thing, but it's the impact that you have on others. That's what's going to make the difference. So the steps can still be small. That's okay. But intention isn't always enough. Yeah, this is executing the action. The sword's coming down. Swords can either cut to heal, like a surgeon would use, or they can cut to hurt. So if you're someone who is in a position of authority in your job, and perhaps this is new to you, perhaps you may be being called to find authentic ways to let your staff know, your subordinates know that you have their backs. Let them know, check in on them on a regular basis, so that they feel that appreciation. Whether it's a small gift from the heart, hey, how are you today? How's your mom doing? Blah, blah, blah. What's going on? Remembering, their sister's name or the names of their kids, and what's going on, checking in with people. Again, words only go so far, intent only goes so far. It's your actions that really count. That's what people remember. They remember how you make them feel. And this can apply also to people who don't have the same kinds of restrictions, like someone in administration might. This idea of reaching out. So transparency, a small gift, checking in with others, a hug if someone needs it, small acts of kindnesses. And by cultivating these acts of gratitude, they will accumulate. Group 1. They're worth it. They get noticed. And we see that here, our final card, Strength. This is another major arcana card. You've had quite a few here, Group 1. Strength is about the balance between the compassion and the muscle. By being kind and generous, even in the smallest ways, the Strength card represents you leveling up from this armored page here to what we're seeing in front of us. Being kind, being generous, even in the smallest ways, this is that leveling up, for sure. Yeah. So people will admire you for who you are, even if things are tough at work, and they're going to see you, I think, as the embodiment of like grace under fire, grace under pressure, like someone who doesn't let others see them sweat. Even if you weren't looking to cultivate relationships outside of the workspace, you may find yourself changing as a result of your actions, or at least you will have the admiration and openness of hearts from your coworkers. People know they can rely on you, and if you're the boss, they know that you have their back, and I would want that guy to have my back, right? They are going to be, there's going to be a security. And you're going to have an entire army of just beautiful people who will support you in all ways. They will remember you as somebody important and someone they can trust. And that's, if you're in a leadership role, that's definitely where you want to be. And finally, the Magician card is what we have here. King Jareth. I think that's right, Jareth. This is you having everything you need around you to be satisfied and happy. Here are all your people, all your little minions, your goblins. You draw them in with that magic of yours, that heart of yours. Yeah. Your actions, you being you. And this is you being transparent. I do see that as like your heart. You're holding it out there. You're showing everyone. You're in charge. You create the work and life that you want. You can cultivate relationships with whomever you choose. That's a pretty wonderful outcome, Group 1. So, I'm going to end your reading here. If this reading resonated with you, please tell me what did in the box below, and be sure to like the video. If you enjoyed this video, please check out my other pick-a-card readings and be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you know when new videos are uploaded. Group 1, I enjoyed working with you today, and I look forward to collaborating with you again in the future. Bye. Hi, Pile 2. If you picked the Rose Quartz Bear, then this is your reading. We're going to do this reading a little bit differently this week. We're looking at cultivating our appreciation for the people in our family, our friend group, our love life, and then work or hobbies if you're not in a traditional work environment. Each group that I just mentioned, each realm, will get 3 different cards. The first card is going to represent you and your relationship to others and your life within that category. Basically, how do other people see you? How are you holding yourself? How are you operating? It may show you things that you already know, or it may reveal some things that you didn't realize about yourself. The second card for each pile will be specific actions that you can take to strengthen your connection to the people that we talked about. And then how to express appreciation for them so that your relationship can grow. And then finally, the last card is going to be the general outcome once you've implemented the actions that have been revealed. We're also going to be looking at the last card that appeared on the back of the deck, for more insight and clarification. So, all right, group 2, let's hop into it. So looking at your family sector first, you are represented, group 2, as the High Priestess, okay? So this is how people in your families may view you. Now this is like your nuclear family, it can be your family of origin, however you define that, and however the insights that are coming through strike you in the way that is the most relevant for your situation. Because we have this particular card, you may be rather intuitive, just given the symbols that we have here. The High Priestess is heavily associated with intuition and mystery. You might be in touch with your emotions, but you're also grounded, as the pomegranates back here suggest. There's an earthiness to you as well. You may be somebody that others go to answers for, or they may see you as a bit of an authority figure within this family unit. Okay. I see this as you having one foot in the intuitive realm down here, and then the other foot that's firmly planted in the 3D. So you're intuitive, but you're also getting things done. You are okay with not knowing all the answers. You're genuine, you're authentic, and other people recognize that authenticity. You may be juggling quite a bit within the family unit, which may be part of your path because this is a major arcana card. You might wish for others to step up a bit more within the family, but you may not see that as an option all the time, as you have a lot of answers at your fingertips and in that big, beautiful brain of yours. And your heart as well. So the image of the laptop to me suggests that you may have to keep in touch via technology, as some members of your family might be further away. And that could also represent like talking on the phone, texting, that kind of thing. You may also be juggling the workload of school, career, and family. Which members of your family, I think they do see that about you. They do recognize that, okay? So this is where you stand in relation to your family. And the actions that you can take to strengthen that connection to your family members and express appreciation for them is just tending to those relationships. That's what the 7 of Pentacles is all about. You might receive some of that information in how best to approach them intuitively. Yeah, as that High Priestess card kind of suggests there. The actions you take, whether they're big actions or just small, like she's tending her plants here, are all part of the nurturing and cultivation of appreciation and love, which serves to strengthen your family unit. Now, I'm noticing this individual here, they are alone in this particular picture, in this card. So I do see this as you taking actions singularly, meaning that you're not necessarily collaborating with others, although you're happy to do so. This is just like an independent journey for yourself right now. Energy flows where your intention goes, and the impact of what actions you take will help this garden thrive. You or your family may resonate with the steady earthy signs of Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Yeah, I feel like whatever steps you are taking to make those connections and to express appreciation are going to be very practical and very steady. Yeah, and I have a feeling that you already have a good idea of what steps you would take depending on the people around you. The High Priestess card definitely reinforces that belief, that you're in tune and in touch with your family unit. You know their likes, their dislikes, and you are generally more sensitive to their needs than other people might be. These actions are going to be completely differentiated for each loved one. And because this is a general reading, that's a lot of different possibilities. So obviously it's going to depend on who you are and what you're doing. But I don't know, I used to be a teacher and I just see the laptop and it's making me think of lesson plans and like coming up with different things for different kids to do depending on what's going on. So that differentiation there is key. Like you've got everything ready, your fingertips, you're ready to go. Yeah, this is slow and steady. A lot of possibility here. This isn't about grand gestures, but more about consistency. Just a small text to say hello to the loved ones who are far away, a phone call, checking in on what somebody wants for dinner, remembering your aunt's birthday and sending a card, buying a sweet treat for somebody just for the heck of it. A little bit goes a long way with this group. Okay, so the general outcome here, and I swear I did shuffle these, is the 8 of Pentacles. All right. Now, actually, I did try to put this card back, but the guides didn't want that. They made sure that it got pulled. They let me know with energy. So this is showing that getting to know your family's love languages and preferences may be very enjoyable for you. The tablet that this individual is working on is, I see that connecting back to the laptop right there. Yeah, so you might be like a little Virgo in that sense, just like you like your organization, you like your charts, you like things to be a certain way. Yeah, this is almost a study in and of itself, like, you know, almost a career, really, and something that you will find rewarding. I think you know your boundaries, your limitations, you know if you're feeling burned out, and when you may be able to step back or have to step back. This is showing, because we have the Pentacles here and a lot of earth energy, this is showing long-term happiness, fruition, and stability within these family relationships. And again, we have another individual who's alone here. So alone, alone, alone. Which makes this pile, oops, sorry about that. Didn't mean to jostle the camera. Yeah, what was I saying? This is all about things that you can control and not, you know, controlling other people, not what other family members are doing. It's your choices, your input. The joy of sharing love with others with 0 strings attached. This is you being a great communicator and not expecting others to know your uncommunicated or unmet needs, because that's not like you. You are direct about the things you need. You don't bottle stuff up and explode later on. Now with the Hanged One on the back of the deck here, let's take a look at this. This is another major arcana, and this points me back to that issue discussed earlier. There may be times that you wish you had a little more support, and this is just about being direct with those needs. And if you've tried that with certain family members and there isn't change, you can get back to work and just focus on what you can control. Just don't worry about it. They're maybe just not, you know, in that boat yet, or they don't think the same way you do. There may be a relationship that needs to go on hiatus from time to time, and that's totally fine. Everything, again, I think I talked about this in pile 1. There's an ebb and a flow to everything. I don't sense any judgment from you on this part. You're not taking things personally, and if there is, that's something that you'll probably want to examine. Like, why are you feeling that way? What aren't you communicating to other people? How can you meet your own needs in the future versus waiting for other people to step in? And it's a reminder that taking breaks is healthy and it's natural, so you can maintain your energy. So this group isn't about just giving, over giving until you're burned out, but using your resources with wisdom. It may be about you sitting back and enjoying yourself at large or small family gatherings, looking at all the love and the shenanigans going on, and having that pride in your heart. It's so full that it's overflowing, group 2. So that's what we have for family. Now, if we look at your career, we have got the card that represents you in relationship to others that you work with, the Knight of Swords. So we have a lot of action that's happening right here, a lot of fast-moving energy. This card can represent someone who's swift in decision-making, bright, and has the pedal to the metal. You're somebody who embraces new friendships readily. You may be a bit headstrong and just as easily will cut someone out or let them know things are not okay. So you're very quick to embrace people, but you're also, I think, quick to just say, no, we're done. This can be a little fierce for some people, a little intimidating to some folks. This isn't something I think that you mean to do to hurt. It's part of just who you are with others. There's an aliveness and a vibrancy here that can be very dynamic and very appealing. Your friends probably appreciate your quick wit, your humor. You may be very funny, group 2, and very intelligent. This is just, again, mental energy and air energy with the Suit of Swords. Yeah, this would show for you. And again, this isn't going to resonate for everybody, but I am getting for some of you with this rapidness, a little less on the quick to cut people off maybe, but more of like there may be a bit of ADD or ADHD happening. Like my brain, my ADD brain, I kind of call it like squiggly brain. You may have air energy prominent in your chart, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. That's happening there. And here we have the Hierophant as a major arcana here. This is the steady fixed energy of Taurus. It's a more traditional or measured approach that may be needed as your action card here to cultivate those relationships and show appreciation for others. Yeah, so taking a measured approach may be what you need to strengthen your connections with others and to show that appreciation. Less gas and more brakes this time. This will help balance out any of that frenetic energy we talked about and saw here in that card. Which is really interesting to me because we had a lot of like steady energy happening over here. But maybe with career things are just, or with friends, this is friends, things could just be a little bit different. Because a lot of times we're one way with our family and we're another way with our friends. Which might be something that you want to examine if you're not totally, the same person in all places. But yeah, use some of that earth magic that you had over here and bring that over into the situation. Just slow things down a little bit. Maybe, especially those relationships and friendships where things feel a little bit unsteady. Use that earth magic. Invite your friends to watch a movie together, get together for drinks or lunch, plan an activity. If you feel like you want to bail because something else more interesting has popped up or you just don't feel like it, stick it through anyway. You probably will really enjoy it. Instead of doing a large group gathering or party, if you're kind of prone to that energy, instead, make it small. Just get together with one or two friends for a quiet night in. And that will help foster some deeper connections, with those like one or two people and help kind of pull folks in. So they're getting beneath what they're seeing superficially and getting to know the person that's over here. And, as you're applying more of that steady earth energy and putting the brakes on a little bit, what's interesting is we have another huge movement card. Do you see how this almost mirrors what's happening here? Even the angles, very similar. This is the Eight of Wands, which is like active communication. And so this is fire. This is big fire, everybody. This is fast moving card of action, but this time it's others coming towards you. That's the way I was seeing it. So instead of you being quick to and run at other people and just, yes, you're my friend, you're my best friend, or, cutting them out pretty quickly, this is others maybe approaching you because you have just slowed things down a little bit. So they're kind of actually like meeting you where you're at. You're not being so dominant, you're not chasing, you're not instigating here. And so you may see an increase in communication with your friends, or you might make some new friendships. This may also indicate travel to new places, or to meet new friends. Some significant relationships may enter your life for people who are fire signs, Aries, Leo, or Sag. And I think, you're going to be really popular. Your social media might be blowing up here, I think. And then we have the Queen of Wands, so more fire energy, more of that... quick moving kind of stuff we have here, but it's a little more balanced because we have a court card. So this is you moving from this kind of like, wow, more loosey-goosey kind of energy, or like a little more domineering, a little more quick, to somebody who's sitting comfortably in their power. They're dynamic, attractive, quite possibly the life of the party. We talked about, you being funny. Just radiant in confidence and creativity. And this is all from just applying that little bit of earth energy and slowing the party down a little bit. So I would say with where friends are concerned, if you can do that, then you are going to be seeing your phone blowing up quite a bit. Now, group 2, what are we looking at? We're going to go over to love here. So the card that represents you in your relationships with either a partner or future partner is the Hermit. So another major arcana card. And this would imply that while you're rather confident, I think with your family especially, and perhaps a bit out there with friends, there are parts and pieces to yourself that you hide away from your partner or, other people that you've dated. If you're single, this may indicate that you're taking a time out right now. You may have had a recent breakup. Or maybe you're just not looking right now. Or you may be afraid to show the real you. So our action card for cultivating relationships, growing relationships and connections and appreciation with partners and future partners is the Sun. So this is another major arcana card. Because we've got 2 here and just, a group of what I guess we're looking at 4 cards, not 3. This tells me that it may be part of your life path. It may be just something that you're going to be working through, and you have worked through, and you'll continue to be working on a little bit down the road. Yeah, I'm even seeing like the mountains here, like this is a path in the future. So while you may shine in some aspects of your relationships with other people, you are perhaps overcoming some fears or insecurities about showing up and showing each part of you, maybe because of fear of rejection. I think that's what it boils down to for a lot of people when they're afraid of being seen. When we hide, we can be very attuned to other people's needs. Like the High Priestess is kind of like almost over analyzing or overwatching everything that's happening. And we can also be like a little bit reckless with friends, like kind of a take it or leave it. This is who I am. I'll cut you out first before you can hurt me. And these energies actually are both ways to control if we're a little insecure about who we are. And if this sounds familiar to you, you might want to channel a little bit of this hermit energy and kind of examine the root cause. Why are you afraid to be who you truly are? Afraid to embrace that? What are you protecting? Because the Sun shows a need to be completely transparent. Letting other people see you is your advice here. So when it comes to partners, speak to them. When needs aren't being met, as we kind of talked about with family stuff sometimes that might happen, speak up about what you need, not in an angry way, but be truly vulnerable. What's underneath the anger? It's usually hurt, right? Someone told me one time that anger is the smoke, but the fire underneath it is really sorrow. So speak up about what you need, own your emotion, and stand in your truth. Show them what you need. If you're single, this means put yourself out there. Okay? Get out on dates, start a profile in a dating app, join groups or clubs to meet people. Don't be somebody that you're not. You don't need to hide yourself away. Don't pretend to be someone else. Just be you. Join groups, join clubs, just whatever it is that, floats your boat. And so by owning every part of you and showing that off, just like the sun would illuminate every part of us, when it's bright noon, you're going to be absolutely magnetic. Group 2. So the reflected outcome that we have here is the 7 of Cups, which is all about choices. So we can see all kinds of interesting things in these cups. Some are good and some are okay. Yeah, maybe I don't want a snake or an eyeball that floats. Maybe you do. I don't know. So if you're in a relationship, for your outcome, it may suddenly be infused with new life, new excitement, and many new opportunities. You may be finding yourself as an individual. Yeah, and defining new roles within your partnership. Kind of an exciting exploration to do together. I have a feeling that this will not only infuse your life with new vitality, but it will completely redefine how you see yourself in relationship to others. And it may infuse you with a new joy and a sense of sovereignty. So that's you really owning your crown over here. Singles, you're going to have many options when you put yourself out there on the dating market. Just remember, all the glitters isn't gold. Some of these things are exciting. Some of those things maybe we don't want. Some options will be those true gems, and others are going to be less than stellar. There is someone out there for everyone. Several someones, I believe. So use your discernment here. The world really is your oyster. And on the back of the deck here, we have the 5 of Swords. Okay. And in this context, this lets me know that you're being more discerning about your options. So if you're in a partnership, this to me is trimming out the stuff that maybe you once went along with, but now have the courage to rectify misunderstood opinions or actions. This is your new voice. This is you standing up for yourself as needed and doing so in a decent and kind way. In the past, you might have had to hide yourself or your desires away out of fear. Okay. Yeah. So this may have, caused you to cover up parts of yourself that you wanted and needed to truly see the light of day, that needed that transparency and needed that love. Singles, this is about you being direct in what you want and what you don't want. Not interested? Then don't engage. Be aware of your surroundings. And for those who do not meet your highest good, they don't have any business in your world. So you can say no. In the past, you might have allowed these types of people into your life out of fear of rejection or in hopes that they might change, but no longer. You're in your power, and you have the power to wear that crown and choose who you're going to be spending your time with. Okay, so our last grouping here is all about work. So this is the way that others see you in work or hobbies or clubs or other community ventures. All right, so something that is kind of related, just as an outside group of people that might be kind of considered in alignment with something like that. And the way other people see you in this particular context is as the Five of Junk. This is the Five of Pentacles. This is actually the Labyrinth Tarot deck, and it's quite funny. So I recommend you check that out if you're a tarot person. So again, this is like the Five of Pentacles, which tells me there might be a bit of separation between you and others in a workspace. It could be because of traditional roles, such as administrative positions, and the people who fall under them. Or it could be due to the way that you carry yourself or the way that others perceive you. With that High Priestess here, and the Knight of Swords, and the Hermit, there are quite a few energies at play that can inform these perceptions that coworkers might take in, or those who are in positions underneath you. So there's a lot of competing energy there, and it's a little bit heavy. You may seem a bit unapproachable at times or intimidating. Or folks may sense that you're a bit removed or keeping yourself behind boundaries or under wraps. Keep in mind, this again is just all about perception. So one of the ways that you can show appreciation or deepen connections in this realm is advice given by the Ten of Feathers or the Ten of Swords. So you're using that beautiful brain of yours. You're going to be logical and clinical if people come to you or at you from a place of separation or lack. Try to understand where they're coming from. There's a clear message here not to be false or act in ways that are not in your truth. Be authentic, sincere, and make decisions from a place of clarity. If you are feeling riled up, offended by something someone said, try to see it from their perspective. And also, don't get sucked into any office gossip. Keep your head above the fray. People will always respect someone who isn't getting pulled into the latest drama. And it's a big no-no to be talking about subordinates to other subordinates. I know I don't have to tell you that, but it happens so much in the workplace. That is one of the fastest ways to alienate yourself, so keep those emotions in check if you are feeling the need to spill some tea. Gossiping does not equal connection. It doesn't make you special to be sharing other people's stuff. Plus, in larger office situations, you do not know what is fact and what isn't. There is just no way to get to the truth of something unless that person has come to you in confidence. And if that's the case, then you know you're not going to be sharing anything, will you? Now, I know this is a no-brainer group too, but it is surprising how many folks don't tune into their heads when confronted with office politics and friendships. I know it's not you, but just in case. The advice here is to be cool in general. Just remove yourself if things get icky, if they get hot, if they get spicy, and just don't take on other folks' stuff, right? You don't have to be this way where, you're totally aggressive about it either. Just, like, no thanks. Be neutral where you can. Stick up for others if you hear people talking crap, because that is just not polite. And group 2, what we have here is the Hermit card. So, Hermit again. That's really interesting to me. So 2 times for you. So that's a big energy at play. All right. And it is, this card generally just implies what it means, that we're kind of keeping to ourselves and reflecting. So it reinforces this idea of walking away in some instances, keeping a bit of distance where needed. And this is about reflection and thinking things through. This is Virgo energy, which may resonate with some of you, or it may be a reminder to be a bit methodical and organized about your approach to relationships in the office, like a Virgo would be. And again, we had a lot of that earthy energy over here as well. And we talked about applying earthy energy to our friendships. So people may start to see you as a bit of a sage, because that hermit is associated with seeking knowledge and that wisdom. They may come to you for advice, or in most cases, a kind listening ear. And this is terrific if you're in a position of authority, because it means that people trust you, which is good for you. And the Ace of Junk that we have here, that's so funny. This is about an extension of an offer and a new beginning. This is that slower moving earth energy again of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, and Caps. It's a steady promise of new beginning with some tight friends or enhanced relationships. And again, it's just from simple head being held high, kind of floating above the fray and kind of staying out of things, keeping your nose clean, I guess. And sticking up for folks that need it. So group 2, I am going to end your reading here. If this reading resonated with you, please tell us what did in the box below, and be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it. Please check out my other pick-a-card readings and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you know when new videos are uploaded. Group 2, I enjoyed working with you today, and I look forward to collaborating with you again in the future. Bye-bye. Hi, Pile 3. If you picked the Garnet, then this is your reading. So we're going to be doing this reading a little bit differently this week. We are looking at cultivating our appreciation for the people in our family, our friend group, our love life, and any work. If you're not in a traditional work setting, call it hobbies, volunteering, group activities, special interests, that kind of thing. Each realm or group mentioned is going to be getting 3 different cards. And the first card is going to represent you and your relationship to others and your life within that category. So basically, how do other people see you? How are you holding yourself? How are you operating? It may show you some things that you already know, or it may reveal some things that you didn't realize about yourself. The second card for each pile will be specific actions that you can take to strengthen your connection to these folks, and how to express appreciation for them to grow your relationships. And then finally, the last card is going to be the general outcome once you've implemented the actions revealed. But we are also going to be looking at the back of the deck, the last card that pops up, for a little more insight or clarification. So, group 3, let's get into your reading. We're going to be starting in the realm of family to begin with. So, the 3 of Pentacles here is the card that represents how you are viewed by family members in life. Now, this could be family of origin, it can be your current family. It really, that idea of family can encompass many different definitions, and it's up to you how you want to do that and how it resonates for you, because this is a general reading. It's going to be a lot of different things to different people. So just overall, group 3, you are likely seen as a steady, a conscientious, and thoughtful individual. This would be somebody who is hardworking. You may be an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, as we have the suit of Pentacles here. The number 3 may be significant to you. Maybe even here, 3 core family members. Or, it might be a favorite number or something like that, a date. You are seen as somebody who is likely willing to collaborate, and you are in things for the long haul. People probably see you as reliable, practical, and someone who sees the value in teamwork. You may have had a strong or possibly overbearing parental figure for some of you, who shaped the lens that you view family from. And as a result, you might be a little methodical in your approach to family matters. You may not be incredibly emotive either. For some of you, you might keep those feelings on the down low. Like, I'm just seeing the difference here between they're super covered and the nude model is not. There's transparency in emotions here, and there's not so much over here. Yeah, but you find ways to express yourself nevertheless, even if you kind of are, keeping your emotions to yourself. You may be a creative person who enjoys the arts. I mean, that seems a little literal, but you never know. And I'm getting that you might really need to keep up that creative outlet in order to give you focus or a way to let some feelings out, blow off some steam, so you don't become a tea kettle that has been left on for too long. So keep in mind that this is, again, a general reading, and so that some of those things I just mentioned might strike a chord within you, and for some of you they may not. There will be something for you to pull from this card, even if it's something as small as just like you enjoy painting or architecture or music, for example. So take what resonates, leave the rest. Moving on, we have the Eight of Swords. And this particular card here, the second card, again, represents or reflects specific actions that you can take to better connect with your family. And to express appreciation for them. So in this instance, while your connection to family is seen, as outward and strong here, this card's about the inward journey of the mind. You may also be an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You might be so considerate of others that you wind up juggling more than you can handle sometimes. It may be a challenge to say no to others. You may also have some fears or concerns, that's what these can represent right here, that are weighing on you, pressing in on you. Yeah, this may be something new, these concerns or worries, or this balancing act could be something you've navigated successfully for a long time, but there is something weighing on you right now that is just creating a tipping point, and you aren't feeling that normal steadiness that you might feel. The ground may actually be feeling like it's falling out from underneath you. Yeah. I'm noticing like she's stepping in water here, so that has to do with emotions, and we don't have that steadiness that we're seeing over here. So the best way to connect and appreciate those around you in your family is by addressing any mental concerns, fears, or worries that you have right now. So again, this isn't externally focusing on them, it's focusing on the internal part of you. This is taking care of yourself. It's prioritizing yourself. Yeah. For those of you considering maybe seeing a therapist, this is a message to do so. This is about diving in and seeing what you need right now, to get yourself into a new space where you feel safe, supported, and you can relax. Right now, you may not be able to see the forest for the trees, but know that this isn't permanent, and the more quickly you address your own needs, the more swiftly change will come. And so that brings us to the Tower here. This is Major Arcana. And this tells me that this inner journey here may be a significant thing you're working through. It may shake up your foundations for a little while. The change may be a bit uncomfortable for you or your family at first. And I'm getting that it's likely due to the fact that they don't like to see you in pain. They don't like to see you hurting. But this, again, is a general reading. And there are many people out there with many different things going on. So take what resonates. Yeah, so this just indicates that, yeah, there is a shakeup going on. There are some challenges that you may be going through, and some of them may be surprising to you or to other people in your family, likely having to do with whatever is weighing on you. But if we look at the back of the deck, what we have here is the Ten of Cups. And that's about happy family, community, and joy. It really is one of the best cards in the deck. So weather the storms and the best possible outcome is headed your way. So we went from, the lightning hitting the tower, everything crumbling. It's a hurricane. And we've got our rainbow following the end of that. Group 3, I'm also getting for some of you, there's a bit of a predicative message here. And this will be for a very small group of you. But if you're looking to expand your family, possibly, this is, yeah, we have family. There may have to be some changes to the overall plan, but things can work out in your favor in the end. Okay, so that is, again, for a small group of people. But again, a very positive overall outcome. So I'm going to scooch these off to the side, and let's take a look at the next sector. which is going to be how your friends view you. Okay, need a little more space. All right, so the first card here that represents you is, I should pull that up, the Two of Cups. Okay. And this here to me is about an equal partnership within friends. It's an offering, emotional availability, and it reflects an intuitive and insightful nature. So you may be someone who is a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. You may also have a few or a couple small, very select group of friends. So maybe just really one or two who you connect very deeply with. Group 3, for some of you, there may be someone in this group who has their eye on you romantically. So you may have a friend that wants to be a little more than friends. They want to take it up to the next level. And they really enjoy your company and might want to take it, beyond, whether you're aware of that or not. And if you have an inkling about somebody, then that's probably a sign. All right. And the card that, I'm giving you the wrong card. That was a sneak peek. The card that represents actions to take to strengthen your connection with friends, to cultivate more appreciation for them, is the Eight of Pentacles. So this is where that steady Eddie Earth here is joining the party with Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So that's adding into the watery mix. This might be you. It might be some of your friends. For example, I actually have a certain friend group where there are many of us who are born in January. So we're all either Capricorn or Aquarius. And it's just weird how that works out sometimes. When we get together, it's kind of like we have a mass party. And here the Eight of Pentacles signifies putting work in. Yeah, because you strike me as an emotional person here, even if things were, you kind of keep things under wraps with your family, perhaps at times, there's still that emotive quality that's underneath everything. I do think you're open where your friends are concerned. And I don't think it would be too much of a challenge to see what can make the relationship grow. These to me look like little tokens of affection. Like this little ratty here is looking up at that one. Like they're handing it off to somebody else. Here, you take this. You may also be a gifter, group 3. Somebody whose love language is about gifting others with tokens of affection. You may also be so in tune with your people that you can easily pin down what their love language is, and you find a way to bring them closer by speaking that language. So even if, say, you are words of affirmation, and somebody else is a gifter, you'll get them a gift. And then going back to what we said about that friend that might have their eye on you, it may take a little work on both your parts to shift the relationship from friendship into a love match. You might even be a little suspicious of this at first. But because here's the card we saw as the outcome, the Sun cards here. I love that one. It's so cool. It is a beautiful possibility. It's major arcana. That's something that can definitely happen. It's transparency, so if there was anything, like, again, we kind of talked about this, maybe keeping things on the down low from your family a little bit because it was surprising that you were kind of going through something tough. We're shifting into transparency here, so just being a little more open. And that might be something that also rolls over into the family sector. Yeah, so the Sun here, it's just brilliant. It's joy, it's happiness, it's honesty. And this really is a happy friend group who gets along with one another seamlessly. This feels like the energy that American TV shows use in montages, like people laughing and they're happy and they're enjoying good food and having some wine or beer and, one another's company. There's not competition or pettiness here, just really good soul family. And they never have hangovers when they wake up the next day. And they have a full face of makeup on and their hair looks great. Yeah, this is your soul family. Yeah, and the back of the deck shows us the 9 of Pentacles. Okay, so from 8 to 9, that's growth, right? Maturation, it's almost the completion of a cycle here. That's you just basking in the glow that the sun has brought. You are reaping the fruits of your labor. You're enjoying what you have all cultivated together. It's beautiful harmony here. And for the friends who may be moving towards something else, the Sun card can be a fruitful partnership or marriage. And the Nine of Pentacles really shows that you will be truly adored. Yeah, this feels like even if things are a little funky, there may be some other things you're going through for the family or just in your personal life that you're keeping on the down low. There's goodness here with friends. So speaking your friends' love languages, just being intuitive and insightful about what they need, giving them that one-on-one time. And I think really being open with them is just going to bring you more abundance and beauty. All right, so that's what we have, group 3, for your friends. I'm trying to find places to put everything. I don't have enough room here. Okay, and for your love relationship, we've got the 8 of Swords, which is how your current partner or future partners view your energy right now. So, interesting, this is actually the second time that this particular card has come out, right? So this does really indicate that heavy mental load we spoke about before, and I feel like in the family pile that it was a bit hidden. It was something you were keeping under wraps from your family and perhaps from a lot of different people. This is something that is more apparent to your partner if you're in a current relationship. So you may be stressed out and going through a rough time right now, group 3, and I'm so sorry for this. This may not be the same issues that came up in the family sector, or it may be. It, again, is that energy not being able to see the forest for the trees, just a heavy mental load, some burdens, trying to figure things out, just not being able to see things clearly right now, and even being a little blocked out from your intuition. Just not being able, you feel like you can't take that blindfold off and you see your way out of the situation to get a bird's eye view. And for singles, I see this as you being stressed out and either not getting yourself out there due to stress or perhaps even shooting yourself in the foot a little bit. You may be going on dates, but because there is some inner healing to be done, your dates are able to see that and know you aren't really emotionally available yet. You're not quite ready. Okay? But here's what we can do to increase connection and appreciation with our partner or future partners. The Ace of Cups is really a healing offering. It's a drink to release the stress and pain that you might be going through. It's a sign to get in touch with those unexpressed emotions if you are kind of tampering those down. And that can look like a lot of different things depending on who's watching. So again, for some, if therapy is available and an option, it might be you. For others, it might look like being more attentive to your emotions, crying when you need to, or able to, talking to others. Like the 2 of Cups in your friendship pile indicates that might be a good outlet. Maybe just chit-chatting with somebody that you trust or who can make you laugh. Journaling. It really depends on what you need and for who you are. For some people, they want to dig into the heavy stuff, and then other people, they want like a lighter approach. It just really depends, on who you are and what you need. When you tend to that emotional health and well-being, that is going to help bolster your connection to your partner, and it's going to make you more available and ready to cultivate new relationships as well. And this cup actually can also be seen as a love offering once you're through all of this heavy lifting. And what's really cool is the outcome is the Queen of Cups, which is somebody who is incredibly intuitive and they're in tune with their divine feminine qualities. They're unafraid to dip their toes into the watery depths of their emotions. So this really indicates that any blocks that you had to love or connection or appreciation are gone at this point. They've melted away. Your partner or future partner will see you for the queen that you are. They will appreciate your intuitive qualities, the way you can see the heart of the matter, and how much loving kindness that you share with other people. Yeah, and so let's look at the back of the deck here. I think you'll be excited about this as well. For this, we have the 9 of Cups. I mean, this looks really promising, right? We're talking about love. Yeah? I'm just going to put it right in the middle here. So the Knight of Cups reinforces this happy wish fulfillment. This really is just, a dream come true, wishes come true, gratitude for where you are and who's on the journey with you. So yeah, this is just that happy outcome that we're looking for, I think. So beyond just the appreciation and you shifting into a new stance from healing, this is just going to bring your partner closer to you. You guys can forge, different waters together, or move on, try new things, build a new future together. I'm not being very articulate right now. See new sunrises, see new places, go travel a little bit. But I feel like your whole future is going to look a little bit different. It may take a little while to shift out of it. There's going to be some funky energy, I think, to iron out for a little bit. But suddenly they're going to be a lot more options for you. Things are going to look different, and you'll be ready to embrace that. And I see you, as I'm talking about this, walking down a hallway together towards, it looks like a very open space, and you're walking hand in hand, and there's just this glow coming from everywhere, and you're ready. It's on your terms, and it's on your time. And for singles, again, same. You'll meet that one person, you'll connect with that one person, and I can kind of see them smiling and looking into your eyes. And they're ready to take those steps with you. So very, very positive outcome. And finally, work sector. My group 3. We have got the 9 of junk. I'm never going to get tired of saying that. This is Labyrinth Tarot, which you might have saw at the beginning. I'm going to move this off the shelf to show you. So this is from the movie Labyrinth, in the 1980s, David Bowie and Jennifer Connelly. For those of you who haven't seen it, it's a riot. Very cool. But Pentacles here, it's junk. So the card that represents you is the 9 of junk. And again, this is the card that represents how others at work or within a hobby or club see you. And so you actually already had that 9 of Pentacles before. Here it is. With this outcome, with the friend group. So this is actually an energy that's pretty familiar to you. And I think you're the first group with a couple of repeats here, group 3. So people may see you as a bit different than the rest of the working crew. You may be a bit of a novelty or even new to the job or committee or club. You might be a little bit elevated in other people's eyes. I don't want to say aloof. There's something a little regal about you, perhaps. And this could be because of a title or a role that you have, or because of the unique qualities and characteristics that others see you as possessing. You are in touch with your surroundings, and that includes the work that you do. While you may be seen as warm, again, others might be a little intimidated by you. So actions that you can take to deepen your connection to coworkers and express appreciation for them is indicated here by the 3 of Pots, which is like the 3 of Cups. And this is an invitation to just collaborate with others. Because you might have to be that person who takes the initiative and makes the first move just because of the way that others view you. Yeah, this card is asking you to let a little emotionality flow over into your daily work life, especially if what you do is a little on the clinical side. Maybe ask somebody to eat lunch with you, step outside the cubicle for a while, talk to new people, ask questions about them to show your interest. And these don't have to be big gestures. A little bit goes a long way. It's actually pretty simple. And then we're moving to something that's actually equally as regal. So this is the Empress card and a Major Arcana. So good energy to shift into, even though the 9 of Pentacles is really like abundant and awesome too. So not only are you seen more for who you are at this juncture as opposed to being a little more removed from everybody, new ideas and plans are cultivated in this energy. So you and your team members can actually build something new and beautiful together, and you may have a smoother and more comfortable working day to boot. Okay? Because this is about abundance, and I mean, it's fertility in one sense, but it could be fertility of ideas as well. And the back of the deck is the 3 of Poles. Well, it's like 3 of Wands. So double 3s here. That might be a significant number because we started with the 3 of Oh, wow. Yeah. 3 of Pentacles. We just didn't get the 3 of Swords. Very interesting. So, Three of Rods here, or poles, echoes the Three of Pots that we already spoke about. This just collaborative energy, a vision for the future. It shows it's okay to lean on others. Like I see those as supports. This is big future energy and vision, and just a really, really wonderful outcome for actions that are just really, really simple. So if you find you're in that energy that maybe people think you're a little unapproachable, at times you again might be the person who has to take initiative, because sometimes we don't see ourselves in the way that other people see us. It's very easy to misinterpret things, if we're not getting that information straight from other people. So group 3, I am going to end your reading here. If this reading resonated with you, please let me know what did in the box below, and be sure to like the video. If you enjoyed this, please check out my other pickacard readings, and be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you know when new videos are uploaded. Group 3, I enjoyed working with you today, and I look forward to collaborating with you again in the future. Bye. High Pile 4. If you picked the Lapis, then this is your reading. We're going to do this reading a little bit differently this week. We're looking at cultivating our appreciation for the people in our family, our friend group, our love life, and then our workplace. If you're not in a traditional job, then anything that is sort of in that same circle. So it could be hobbies or extra interests, activities, things that you do with other people. Each group that I just mentioned will get 3 different cards that we're going to look at, and the first card will represent you and your relationship to others in your life within that particular category. So basically, how do other people see you? How are you holding yourself, in relationship to them? How are you operating in this particular area? And this may show you things that you know already, or it may reveal some things that you didn't realize about yourself. Okay, our second card that we're going to be looking at in each pile will be a specific action or actions that you can take to strengthen your connection to these folks, and how to express appreciation for them to help grow your relationships. And then finally, the last card is going to be the general outcome once you have implemented the actions that are revealed here. And we're also going to be looking at the last card that came up on the back of the deck for a little more insight or clarification on anything that pops up. So, all right, group 4, let's get into it. So the card that represents you in this reading is Temperance. So right off the bat, we've got Major Arcana here. This is in regards to your family. So because this is Major Arcana, this may actually be a theme of your life or the basic essence of who you are, not just the lens that your family views you through. This might actually extend to other areas in the world, and as you're making your way in the world as well. You've got one foot in the water of emotions. The other foot is planted firmly in the 3D on the ground. There is this duality then to you, an ability to see both sides of a situation. You are likely calm, open with other people. You may be Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising in your chart. You would show others through diplomacy and tact how to treat other people. And so this is you you're the shining sun here. You are the role model. Everything around you is in balance. And that is how people in your family see you. Now, the 4 of Swords indicates actions that you can take to strengthen your connection to the family unit. And it may give you some ideas of how to express appreciation for them as well. And this follows along the lines, this 4 of Swords here, of the Temperance card and the idea of leading by example. So if you're having a crappy day and the weather says otherwise, while others go out gallivanting around, or they might expect you to help with whatever project they have going on, you might decide to stay in bed, take a nap. When you model self-care, boundaries, to your loved ones, you are showing them how much one can value and appreciate themselves. This may be a quality that is lacking in your family unit. And so by setting and enforcing boundaries with other people as well, Um, you're just showing them that you can take a time out from drama. You're firmly suspending worries and cares for the time that you need to, and you're showing others how to treat you, essentially. And also then how can they start to treat themselves. So this in turn will make a world of difference within your family unit. So I see this really as modeling behaviors that are kind of integral to taking care of yourself and maintaining this kind of calm balance. Now the outcome cards that we have here are the Knight of Pentacles, and this is great, the World. Okay, I'm going to put that card right there. The Knight might represent here the gift of healing and abundance that you are bringing to your family, a new stability, a rootedness. I also see this as your family kind of getting their riding legs here. They're trying out something new. They're really broadening their horizons. Yeah, just kind of looking out over in the distance here. And, you know, they may not be galloping forward like the Knight of Swords might be, or the Knight of Wands, where they're just kind of going in blindly. This is definitely more steady and more slow, but it's still an opening that you've kind of created for them, a chance to try something new. Yeah, you've definitely given them this gift of modeling, and they see this potential now for their own lives, because this isn't just about working this way within the family, but you know, as you make your way out into the world. So this is just a happy outcome, moving from point A to point Z on your journey and being successful. This may indicate, especially with two major arcana cards here, that your journey within your family has been possibly a challenging one, group 4. And this may stem from your family of origin and circumstances from the past, or it could be something that's more current. This may be where your steady and calm temperance temperament developed from, because oftentimes that can be, if we've come up against some challenges early on and we've dealt with them, it can kind of, well, definitely will impact how you move through the world in one way or another. But in this particular instance, this is just amazing. Look how far that this can get you. We're really ending up with the best card that you can get here, this major arcana. So I do see this possibly as kind of a life path for you, just given the energies that are happening here. Very, very positive. And you making a good difference, a positive difference for the members of your family as well. So bringing that calm, bringing that stability, modeling, self-care, you know, and just it's bringing good habits in that other people are going to be able to pick up on themselves. And your family's riding horses. So our next group, friends, is going to be about your friends. All right, so the realm of friendship. The card that represents you in this particular realm is the Sun, which is weird because we just had this one in the third group as well. So this pops up again. This is joy, happiness, transparency. This is how your friends see you. They see you as someone that they can count on. So not only do you elevate the energy of the group, but you are 100% genuine and authentic with who you are. There's an optimism to you. And this, again, could be related to your earlier experiences, you know, and this temperance vibe that we have going on here. But I think people are just drawn to you like a magnet. The Sun is the source of all life, all energy on Earth, and without it, we wouldn't be. You may be the core of your friendship group, you know, the person that others gravitate around. You might be the original member who, you know, kind of brought all the other buds together. And new friends will continue to be drawn to your vibe and to your authenticity. So, again, this is the way that your friends see you, group 4. Very, very positive, very glowing. I mean, who wouldn't want to be around that? And this is interesting. This is the third major arcana card that we've got here. So you've definitely you've got a vibe going on here. And so group 4, the card that represents actions you can take to help strengthen your already strong friendship connections and express appreciation for your group of friends is the Page of Cups. Here it is. Okay. So, honestly, to me, this is just about continuing to be yourself, group 4. Like, really, I mean, that's a little bit what this was like, too. This might have been more, you had to be a little more firm with modeling, but this is just continuing what's already golden and what's already good. You have really got this friendship thing down. Your idealism and realness are a heck of a combination that are contributing to the group vibe. So the page here indicates that you will continue to make, wonderful new friendships, because there's a youthful vibe to this here. So bringing in more folks, keep shining your lights, and there's really nothing I feel that you could add or change that would deepen the friendships and bonds you already have. So just keep the emotions flowing, keep doing what you're doing, keep expressing that appreciation and love for your soul family. And honestly, as I see this, I keep seeing an image of a woman, or it could be a guy, the gender doesn't matter, but in this vision, it's a woman, and she's gathered at, like, I don't know, a corner, like, bar, or just, like, a place in the neighborhood where people get together and mingle, and it's just, like, the whole back room is just filled with friends, and it's not even necessarily loud or rowdy, but it's just bringing everybody together. There's a lot of happiness and a lot of warmth that's coming from her. Like, we're sharing our cups there. Yeah, just happiness and good vibes, and a really great rainbow sweater as well. Now, this is where it gets a little weird, because I'm going to talk about both cards here, like the back of the deck and the outcome, at the same time. We have Strength, which is yet again another major arcana card, and then we also have the World again. So you literally just had the World, and now this time we have it again. It's represented by a turtle. In this particular instance, I love that symbolism. Big energy here, folks. Big energy. I'm going to move that up so you can see that a little bit better. So this tells me again that some of your earlier experiences in life or along this path may have not always been the easiest. You have probably had a share of struggles that have helped shape this beautiful soul that you have become. And this is part of your story, your light, and you don't dim that to fit in at all. It's part of you. You accept it. You're honest about it. There's that transparency we talked about it. Here's Strength. Okay, this is the strength to you. And others really appreciate it. They can relate to it. They can relate to your stories. They can relate to your honesty. And I think this is just part of that magic that you have, group 4. And with this World card again, even if things aren't always easy with family, you remember that your home is where you make it. The turtle carries a shell with him. Your friends can be your family. So this again can indicate that all astrological signs are part of your crew, as that is part of the World card here. And your worldly vibe as well. Just talking about both those things. So you've got a lot of really, really positive qualities and things that are going on here, and some really big energy. Big energy happening. So I have never, I think, had a reading where the World card has popped out as an outcome 2 times. Now, let's move on to the romance sector. Okay. We're going to use the Mystic Mondays Tarot here. And the card that represents you, group 4, the way your romantic partners or future partner sees you reflected in, is the 4 of Swords. And this is actually the second time for this particular group of readings that this has popped out. So I don't know if my guys are just like, hey, some of this stuff is working. This is a representation that makes sense. So we're going to roll with it. Group 2, I think, also had the same card here. So if you felt drawn to that pile, you might want to check it out. And again, this is the second time too, now that I'm noticing this, that this has popped out for you. You already had that. So that's that timeout card. So, just kind of keep your eye on that. So this time around, again, this is about boundaries. I don't see this as you needing a respite or, having fear. Like, I think that there was a little more of that in the other group. But this is, again, about setting and enforcing boundaries with your partner in a healthy way. They may see this sometimes, though, as you icing them out a little bit from time to time. And I think they just would like to be a bigger part of your world. And it might just be those times, like, you need a little more TLC certain days. You might be running at like 30% capacity, and maybe they're running at like 50% capacity, but there are no conversations that are happening about it. Um, you know, and that would be one of those times that you both need like a little time out. Maybe you need to cancel plans for something tonight and just kind of stay in and focus on something. But, you know, maybe your partner's thinking, hey, they're going to make dinner or they're going to do the dishes because I can't. And so then they're kind of met with like, nope, like I can't go there tonight because I'm only at 30%. So there may be a little bit of miscommunication that happens from time to time. It's pretty normal. And I do think they would like to have more conversations with you about opening that up a little bit. And again, I use that word icing out. There are cool colors that are happening here, which reinforces that element of air and decision making, and the mental association with swords. So this is air signs Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. If you're single, you may have elected not to put yourself out there right away. That's what this might be about. You've got a very rich friendship life going on right now that we saw. And you may feel like you don't need to add anything else to the mix right now. If you are putting yourself out there, you might be a bit overly clinical and have some walls up. I'm seeing this. And this feels like going beyond boundaries to the point where, you're creating walls instead. Your dates may sense that, like, when you're chatting or when you meet up, they may feel like you are freezing them out a little bit. Okay? So actions that you can take to develop your intimacy and deepen appreciation and connection is to cut cords. We have got the King of Swords. So sticking within the sword family here. I think there is a root that might need to be examined here, because we did talk about the possibility of there being some tricky past relationships that are impacting you, or childhood things. Because you have, again, this temperance quality, there is this natural healing ability with you, I think, that goes with it, which can make you a bit of an empath, or at least very sensitive, like a highly sensitive person, to others and their energy. And so you may have had to create strong boundaries or walls to cope with some of these energies. So love and love partnerships may be one area that needs to be examined for lingering energies from the past. So they're just saying here, you want to adopt kind of the King of Swords mentality with this, not about other people, but turn it inward and cut those cords. So look back in the past, work with a cord cutting practitioner, just to kind of remove that stuff that from your energy field to help you move on a little more easily. It lightens up the load. It cleans up your aura a little bit. Because when you do, you're going to feel much lighter and brighter. And your outcome card is the Sun. Again. So, not only have we had the World twice, friend, but we have also had the Sun twice. So, I don't know who you are, Group 4, but I want to be your friend. You are something absolutely amazing. And the back of the deck gives us the Queen of Swords, so we're sticking in that same kind of energy. So let's talk about that a little bit. I swear to God, we had King and Queen there, and we have this. These cards are very shuffled. I shuffle them between everything quite a bit. It's just incredible how they appear out this way sometimes. So for the Sun, the Queen of Swords here, this is where you and your partner, those of you that are in relationships, can move forward because of those actions. You cutting cords, you kind of taking stock of what's going on, kind of examining what needs to be looked at. You took matters into your own hands, and you handled what needed to be handled, and that is sword decisiveness there. By cutting those cords, or at least examining latent relationships or any lingering energies, you can move forward with new transparency and get away from things that no longer serve you. You also might consider acupuncture. We're talking about pointy things, or other body work here to supplement, like cranial sacral stuff, or massage would be good. Just as another layer to like take care of yourself, I think, a little bit, kind of warm things up. Get rid of outdated belief systems, barriers, and alarms that once protected you, and they just don't anymore. They're holding you back at this juncture. So you don't have to be upset about that. because they served a purpose at one point. There's no judgment here. There's no need for shame, but you can just, hey, wave goodbye, or just say, I see you, thank you, I honor you. And, if they pop up from, time to time, you can recognize that, but just, move on. What is that? Internal family systems. They say there are no bad parts. That might be something that you look into. Yeah, this is the point where you step into that same energy that your friends see you in with that sun card that we, had talked about. Yeah, and your partner at this point will too then. They're not going to see any of that like little iciness or whatever. You're communicating, you're very transparent. And I really think if you're single, your future partners are going to be absolutely dazzled by your brightness. But again, be the Queen of Swords. You can still be decisive about who you spend your time with and who you decide to get to know better. And I think your partner will see you for the queen you are and treasure that beautiful brain of yours, and everything else that goes with that. So group 4, that's what I'm getting for romance, love, all that good stuff. We're going to put that up here. And the last area we're looking at is work. So, group 4, career. The card that represents you in relationship to coworkers is strength. Again, remember that? I have never had this many major arcana come across in one reading. Really, who are you? I need to know who you are. Claim yourself in the pile down below. What do you do? Who are you? What's your story? This is because you just have this incredible energy. And I don't know, you may have been through a lot of cycles. I feel like this is, because this is so big, like you might be leveling up and kind of nearing, I don't know, the ends of a lot of phases. And if you believe in reincarnation, you might just say, hey, I'm kind of approaching the end. I'm kind of done here. So at work, the people you work with, or, you're involved in hobbies with, admire you for your courage, your compassion, your ability to work through tricky situations and problems with grace and balance. You might be a therapist or a healer also of some kind, group 4, just something that requires that kind of chill outlook. And the actions that you can take to strengthen your connection to these folks that are seeing you this way at work and express appreciation for them is the Wheel of Fortune, another major arcana card. I don't even know what to say anymore. Okay. This Wheel of Fortune actually also came up for group 1. It's just about letting things be in this instance. So you take the bigger picture view. We can kind of see what's going on here. Yeah. You don't sweat the small stuff. Others may come to you for counsel and advice. You listen patiently while showing them that things are going to be okay, even if stuff looks a little crazy. Even if the path looks a little twisted. There is potential in everything, and I think you see that, and you make others aware of that, and they appreciate your level-headed calmness and understanding that while someone may be down at one point, things will look up eventually. You don't control, but you breathe into the situation and you allow. So our outcome cards for you are... I don't even know what to say. The Chariot. That's another major arcana. And the back of the deck we have the King of Feathers. So notice we have one blue eye and one brown eye. And if you did, this deck is actually, I keep talking about it because I just got it. I'm excited about it. It's the Labyrinth Tarot. So if you haven't seen Labyrinth, it's the 1980s movie with David Bowie and Jennifer Connelly. Fantasy, fun, craziness. And this deck is awesome. The pentacles are actually the suit of junk. So who doesn't want to say the king of junk? And it makes me giggle every single time. So I can't wait to get into this a little bit more. But the owl here has like Mr. David Bowie's multicolored eyes here as the King of Feathers. So let's tie this back into you. Let's get back to you here. So outcome, Chariot and King of Feathers. I'm actually just going to cover that up so you can see that better. Um, oh, and you know what? I'm realizing this is actually the same card that just appeared before I put it at the back of the deck, though. Here. You just had that. The King of Swords. So you also have a duo here that is the same. King of Feathers. Feathers are swords in this tarot deck. So again, I think by showing others and modeling for others your outlook, you move forward in your career goals with ease. That's you moving forward. And this is another nod to duality, like temperance and how you skillfully navigate towards your goals. So whether that's a calmer workplace environment or more friendships, your actions are as natural, I think, as they are deliberate. There's just this beautiful duality to you. Nothing is forced, and you make everything look so easy, even when stuff is a little bit crazy. That looks like a bad flow chart. And the King of Swords has that same kind of rapid movement in decision making as the Chariot. You're both intelligent, you are intelligent, and I think others respect you, and they see you as royalty, both a queen and a king here. And I want to go back to that point about duality. I really think, because that's come up so much here, the number 2 might be important to you, group 4. We've had a lot of pairs happening. So just going back to review that, we had the World twice. We had the 4 of Swords also 2 times. Where'd it go? Here we go. Right? So the World, the 4 of Swords, and then with the Owl, duality. I don't know. When we look into the eyes here, this owl's got the 2 different colored eyes. It's so you're able to see the 3D realm and then the realm beyond it. And temperance has that theme, been the theme of your reading, as it is about duality, balance, and a calm determination. So perhaps you have an ability to see beyond this life. You may be a gifted intuitive or someone who has seen a lot, experienced a lot, and has just led a rather extraordinary life. I really think, group 4, that you move mountains, and I suspect you are a very old soul. And this may be, again, one of your last incarnations before it's time to take a nap. Unless you decide that you have more work to do, because you might be one of those big shiny light workers. So group 4, I am going to end your reading here. If this reading resonated with you, please tell me who you are in the box below. Be sure to like the video. And if you enjoyed this, please check out my other pick-a-card readings, and be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you know when new videos are uploaded. Group 4, I really enjoyed working with you today, and I look forward to collaborating with you again in the future. Bye-bye.